What's up, y'all? What's happening? We are live for Dog Talk Tuesdays, part 4 of the Temperament Series. Today, we're going to be dealing with rank drive. Rank-driven dogs, one of the drives that I hate the most when it comes to dogs. So we're going to be discussing that. First, I want to remind everybody that the lives that I'm looking at them on StreamYard. Once we finally move into the new house, I will be going live from YouTube, Facebook, and IG, Instagram. If my cell phone will allow me to go live from IG, it's been an issue doing StreamYard from the cell phone. Hold on. Live, remove. Yes, I know all this. Thank you. All right. So we will be doing live from 3 platforms at that time. Give me a second to make sure. Now, if you are watching through Facebook, understand the StreamYard a lot of times does not show me. Every now and then it has that day where it shows me who's watching from Facebook and it shows me your comments and who left a comment. Sometimes it will show me the comment, but not who's making it. And then other times the comments don't even show up. So I am going to go on Facebook and try to keep up with those comments, especially those that are in the Giant XL American Bully Breed Group 2.0 and that are on my page. But let's go ahead and let's get it started. We got who's up in here while I'm sharing this out. Hey, ECBK, what's up? Thanks for joining in. Dom's in the house. Says about that time. Kyle Highland, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in. Who else we got in here? Total Bully Kennel say, yo, I made it at the beginning. Exactly. There you go. DEVIL 101, Devil 101, finally catching a live, like 1 a.m. Where you at? That is 1 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Let us know where you in from. A's ECB, what's up? Let's see who else is in here. Devin B is in the house. We got Watchtower in the house, and I've been waiting for this. Good luck with your signal, man. You know what? I'm noticing like the signal for the computer is weak. This is my first time. Well, actually, last Tuesday was the first time. This is my second time. For whatever reasons, I wasn't able to join in on the live with Raul through the computer. It wouldn't let me do that, and my phone was doing terrible. So hopefully this goes cool. It is showing that it's a weak signal, but hopefully it's doing cool. I got to call the internet company and see what's the deal with that. We got Enzarata in here from Phoenix. Kyle said, man, D, I'm definitely loving that. Hey, it came out dope. You did a great job on it, dude. So I see it. Andre got his. I talked to him about okay, cool. So Andre, I got to check out Andre because I know what his logo looks like. So I know that's gonna be dope to see. But yeah, you did a great job, dude. Much appreciation. I love the size of it. The detail that you did is just incredible, dude. So I'm loving it. I can't wait to get to the new spot and actually hook it up so I can start letting it light up. For those that don't know. Kyle Holland does metal work, and this was the logo. He recreated our logo. As you can see, it's in the corner, and it's also right here on the wall. And the detail is crazy. Like, I kind of figured he'd just kind of make his way around the detail of the eyes, especially, and everything. And he didn't. He went right for it. You know what I'm saying? Great job on it. I don't have it plugged in yet. So once I get it plugged in, it comes with a remote. And with the remote, you can change the colors of the lighting in the background. So he did a great job. Once we move and get everything situated, that's when I'm going to go ahead and hook it all up so everybody can see it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Fatima, what's up? She's in here from Pittsburgh. Said just driving home from work. All right, so we with you in the car. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Okay, you in from Scotland. Okay, dope. Shout out to Scotland. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. Who else is in here? What's up? Say what's up to Kyle And Donna Whitaker, what's up? Thanks for joining in. And you're here from the UK. I did not know that. I didn't know that. That's dope. That's dope. You guys make sure to share, hit that like button, all those other, little social media things. But definitely hit the like button. G-Line said, what up, what up, what up? Let's see where we at. Kyle said, sir, appreciate the love. Bruh, I appreciate the love you gave on this. You know what I'm saying? You could just tell there was a lot of hard work that went into it, You did a dope job, dude. You did a real dope job, dude. And even though you had shown me through pictures and everything, I still had no idea how big it was, and like when the movers came to grab everything, I got 3 and my ninja sword is missing. My samurai sword is missing. I got another dual-edged sword with blades coming out both ends. That's missing. So I got to call them tomorrow. I didn't realize it until my son noticed it. So I got to call them tomorrow and see what's going on with that. If they don't have my swords or somebody stole them, I'm definitely going to replace them because I've had those swords for years. But when it came to your logo, I was like, nah, this is going in the car with us. You know what I'm saying? I should have done that with my swords the same way I did my gun. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't. So we'll see what happens with that. Casper, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in from Nova Scotia. Okay, cool. That's dope. And I'm saying Hades. Am I pronouncing that right, or is it Hades? But Hades all the way in from Nova Scotia. That's dope. Rhodes in the house. What's up, man? Thanks for joining in. Tony Moss, what's happening, bro? Yeah. We had a hilarious conversation the other day. Let's see. Yo, bro, it's bigger than people. Yeah, it's way bigger than people realize. I have big hands. And so when I show people, I'm like, this is huge. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. So that gives you an idea how big it actually is. AD, my dog temperature is at 104. Is that a concern? Yeah, I would be concerned. Make sure that the dog also look at how the dog is acting. If the dog is acting lethargic, a lot of panting, stress, definitely check on that. But other than that, I would definitely keep a close eye on that. You know what I'm saying? What are we as humans? 98 pregnant females. 98's time to get ready. I want to say dogs, their temp should be right around, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I want to say it's like 102, 101. So you're looking at 3 degrees higher. I would definitely keep an eye, 2 to 3 degrees higher, I should say. So I would definitely be keeping an eye on that. Go ahead. I wouldn't. A lot of times a dog can have a temperature, and so we do things to drop the temperature. But that temperature is a sign that something is wrong. So, you may want to drop the temperature, see if you can. That way the dog is more comfortable as it's fighting through whatever it's going through. But that's another thing. You start hitting 104, start getting above that. I don't like giving out that type of information on the live as far as what I would do, because sometimes it can put your dog in jeopardy if you're not experienced with dealing with those types of situations. So the best thing I would say is keep an eye on your dog tonight. Try to keep the dog cool tonight. And then come tomorrow, check the dog's temperature again. I would say 6 to 12 hours from right now. Check the dog's temperature again. If it's still at 104, if it rises, definitely get your dog into a vet so that they can check it. Let's see here. Don G is in the house saying what's up to everybody. What's up, Dan? God of the underworld, haha. But okay, so it's Hades. That's what I thought. But I give Raul credit for trying. There you go. All right, so it is Hades. Let's see here. Watch Tower 101. I think it is like 101. That's what I was thinking, like 101, 102. But I think it is 101. Frank Gutierrez is in the house. So hold on, let me go back to that. So you figure your dog's 3 degrees higher than the temperature. I would definitely try to get your dog into the vet, have him looked at, see what's going Chances are the dog will be fine and the temperature will drop back down to normal. 2 to 3 degrees is not that bad, but it definitely means your dog is uncomfortable. So definitely have the dog checked. Let's see. Tony Moss saying, what's up to Rose? Slayer Pitt says, sup, y'all, pin and pair ready. Pin and pad ready. There we go. We about to get into it. Family First Kennel is in the house. On a side note, did you hear about the dogs that killed a man in Houston? No, I didn't hear anything about that. And apparently a couple days ago, some breeder was kidnapped or whatever over their dogs. The way the article, I had no idea about it until I saw the post. I asked the people in the post what they were talking about. Somebody then inboxed me an article on it. The article was written that a guy who was known for promoting his dogs on the internet happened to get kidnapped by 3 guys. What I would say to people is be careful. You know what I mean? The type of dog you have is up to you. I personally don't have or believe in or won't feed dogs that won't protect my home, my client's home, children, things like the family, things like that. But as we get into bully breeds, I get it. Some people are into the show ring or they're into taking their dogs to dog parks. So if they lack the ability to breed for specific drives, which is why we're doing this series, then what they do is they breed in general to a just overall friendly dog, not understanding that you can still have high drives on various levels and still have a friendly dog, but an intelligent dog. When you get to the point, I saw another video the other day where a lady's walking her dog. I'm not sure if it was a bully or a pit bull. It definitely wasn't a pit bull. It may have been some form of bully or Amstaff. And another lady pulls up to her. She's got a friend in the car. She starts petting her dog. Next thing you know, she starts grabbing the leash, punching the owner, and eventually the other friend jumps out with a big girl, and she jumps out. They beat up the lady. They throw the dog in the car. They steal her dog. I know we all love our dogs, but sometimes we have to look at our dogs for what is actually in them, especially, pet owner. I get it. But as breeders, we need to be aware of that. Some people have gotten upset with when I used to say this, but I'll repeat it again. To me, a dog that won't protect me is just as bad as a dog that attacks me. I don't want either one, and I don't want to sell either one to a client. So for somebody to be able to, kidnap you and think they can take your dogs, or they might have just been after the person for money. I have no idea, but watch how you operate online. I know some of you guys have seen me in altercations and conflicts online. I'm not worried about it. I kind of, I live my life in a manner of knowing that things can happen at any time. So what I get involved in on social media really isn't that big of a deal to me. But for those who, never get involved with the public and make posts with the public and think that everything is A-okay. You never know who you're coming across, who you're dealing with. Same thing, you got a lot of breeders who people get mad at because they want to meet you at Walmart to sell you the dog. They don't want you coming to their kennel. Now you get it. You just had a breeder that was kidnapped. So now you kind of understand what's going on. What I will say is promote yourself and your dogs in the way that you are comfortable. Do not promote your money. Do not promote the money. Let people hit you on your inbox to find out what you sell dogs for. Not that prevents, think bad things from happening, but at least it slows that down. So be very aware, be very cognizant of who you're dealing with, how you're dealing with them. And if you're uncomfortable, have no problem saying no, stepping away, especially, you ladies that are getting into this. A lot of money is exchanged over these dogs, and no one wants to see something bad happens because you got involved with the wrong idiot. So be aware. You got a husband, brother, son, somebody that can go with you to public places, then so be it. I fully understand the females that are involved with breeding dogs, and you only can meet them during the day at Walmart to pick up that pup. I fully understand it. World is not as candy as a lot of people, think it is. So be careful out there, you guys. Be very careful. Let's see here. WKR, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in. Casper said, is low rank drive necessary if you want your dogs to hunt in a pack? We're going to get into that. I think rank drive is one of the dumbest inventions. Rank drive and flies and gnats. Those are like the most unnecessary things on the planet to me. But unfortunately, some dogs do have a high rank drive. Some dogs have a low rank drive. I prefer a low rank drive, a low rank driven dog. A lot of times you'll hear in the game dog world, you'll see a dog does a whole bunch of pulling, super aggressive, bam, they collide, gets his ass whooped, and the first thing people say is that ain't nothing but a rank driven cur. Because rank drive is just extremely unnecessary in the domesticated dog world. In nature, it needs to be there, but in the domesticated dog world, it's a very unnatural drive, and we're about to get into that. Let's see who else is in here. We got a face. Okay, so now showing Facebook users. Sir, just want to ask, why does my dogs like to eat stones, rocks every time I let them out? Stones, metal, rocks give a mineral flavor. So oftentimes the dog could just be doing it because they're bored. Also, it could be doing it because it's missing nutrition. What I would do to compensate, if it's a bored issue, work the dog, also discipline the dog from doing it. So you see a dog going towards a stone, he's getting ready to put it in his mouth, scold him, and prevent him from doing that. And you want to get between the dog and the stone to make that dog back up from it and fully understand that this isn't just a verbal thing. I physically do not want you grabbing on rocks, stones, eating them, putting them in your mouth. And then get a toy that can distract the dog from that. Start working that dog out more, exercising it more, giving it something else to do. If it's a mineral issue, you can compensate for that by adding more vegetation to the dog's food, especially spinach. What else? Kale. Your green veggies will help compensate for that. The other thing is add just a pinch, just a little bit. I do 2 shakes for mine, but to their water, start adding the pink Himalayan sea salt. That it is full of vitamins and minerals. The problem with it is that it's a salt. The not so bad of a problem with it is not like the salt we use on our food, which is bleach. So if you add Himalayan sea salt, just a pinch to the dog's water on a daily basis, it will start getting the minerals that it is probably craving, and which is why, and it's tasting those minerals in rock, salt, things like that. You add Himalayan sea salt to the dog's water, just a pinch again, then the dog knows there's somewhere else where it can go to get that flavor and get those minerals, which is its water bowl, which is always good. So add a pinch of Himalayan sea salt to the dog's water. That'll help compensate for it. And then also get between the dog and those rocks. When you see it, let them know this is not what we do. Leave it alone. Get between that. Get between it and the dog, and to discourage that and break them of that habit. Do you think you should train your dog to do protection work, or do you feel American Bully do it natural? Some American Bullies do it natural. Cardi Bull kind of messed me up when I wanted to see whether she does it naturally or not. She kind of learned to be protective from our other 2 dogs. So I didn't really get a chance to see it naturally. What I did learn is that she's willing to back it up, but that doesn't mean she would have necessarily been willing to initiate it naturally. So that would be the question. So far, her offspring from her and King also seem to be protective. So I would say definitely you want to do protection work there's 2 forms of protection work that you have to think about. There's the first level, I consider just advanced tug of war. Dog learns to hit the sleeve, learns to release from the sleeve, things like that. When you move on to the next phase, that's when you're agitating the dog without the sleeve. And, you'll have somebody agitating the dog and there's no sleeve. They're swinging at the dog just within reach, making sure that the dog they don't necessarily touch the dog, and they're making sure they're just out of reach of getting bit by the dog. And that's when you have a dog that's actually willing to engage and there's some type of civil drive there. So when it comes to protection work, have fun with it. Go get a sleeve. Teach the dog to hit the sleeve. That way, at least the dog knows how. A lot of what intimidates dogs, as I've said before, is we have these long limbs. We got these legs. We got these limbs. We don't do and operate like what most dogs do. And sometimes that can be intimidating to a dog. When you start doing bite sleeve work, things like that, the dog becomes less intimidated by those limbs. When you roughhouse with your dog, the dog becomes less intimidated by limbs, and it doesn't throw its thought process off when it's time to protect and defend itself or its home. So have fun doing bite work. When you're talking about actual protection, you want to make sure before you get to that level that you have a dog who has learned to release first. Come to you when called, release when commanded, and use the bite work to train for that. Tug of war, fetch, all those things you want to use to teach for release, coming to me, sit. I personally will do protection work with the dog, but I always tell people what first thing we need to work on is the dog coming to you when called, the dog being able to lay down, not just sit, but to actually lay down, the dog being able to stay, and then the dog being able to release on command. And then once the dog can do those things, that's when we move on to the next level of protection work, which is me not having an actual sleeve and agitating the dog to get the dog going, and understand that, yeah, you're going to be sometimes going for arms, hands, legs, limbs, things like that without there being an actual target on it. So just be safe, take it slow. Definitely start with, bite work. It's nothing but fun. Doesn't make the dog aggressive or anything like that. But once you elevate from going into actual protection, you want to make sure that the dog has those commands that I stated before you go into it. Casper said, also, real quick before I go into Casper's comment, understand as long as your dog is alert and willing to bark at intruders, 9 times out of 10, intruders are going to go from your house to the next house. So a lot of times we don't really need a dog that's willing to engage. We don't really need a dog that's half protection work. As long as they're willing to give, especially if you got a large dog, as long as they're willing to give, most burglars, people like that, they don't even want you to have a chihuahua. They don't want the noise, the racket. So as long as you have a large dog that's willing to bark, growl, and alert you, 9 times out of 99.99% of the time, that intruder is going to head somewhere else. Typically, the people that engage with a dog and get attacked with a dog that's trying to protect, it's because there's some type of drug issue, or they are just oblivious to the fact that the dog was there. The dog happens to not be there when they're breaking in or when they're coming into your yard or whatever it may be. And then they're caught off guard just like the dog is caught off guard. And at that point, it comes down to how the dog is bred and the work that you've done with the dog. Let's see here. Captain said, for me personally, I would be more comfortable meeting in public, police station, etc. A lot of sketchy people out there. It's the truth. And that's why I say to people, most of you already know, we have yet to sell a dog online. It's just been something we've been trying to avoid. We do realize that it's starting to get there. But it is, for me to sell you a dog, it is going to online. It is going to require either some online history between me and you or some in-depth conversation. You know what I mean? If I was breeding lazy, dumb couch potato dogs, then yeah, you could just sell those to anybody, as long as they're not expecting more. But for people who are expecting to get a dog when they buy a dog, we're going to have a conversation, because I also want to know that that person is capable of dealing with a dog, and is going to also bring the dog up in a manner that, in their own way, but also in a manner that I see fit for the dogs that we breed. So I probably will allow people to come to my home to pick up dogs. The whole shipping thing makes me a little sketchy. Next week, we're leaving to go pick up 2 dogs. I just don't trust the whole shipping thing. I hear too many horror stories. I don't want my dog at the bottom of a plane, So when it comes to meeting up with people, I think you either need to have a home or facility that is definitely set up for security. Definitely have another friend, brother, family member with you when those people show up so that they know there's other people here, not just your wife or your daughter. You know what I mean? My boys are older. My oldest son is here. He's 27, does MMA, knows how to shoot the whole nine. So I don't have a problem with people coming here, but that won't be done until we have camera setups. Because here's another thing. There's been a lot of issues. I know people in the pit bull world, the band dog world that have had people come to their house, look at dogs. People tell them, you know what, we're looking at other people's later, but I like yours the best. Probably come give me about 2-3 days. We'll be back to probably more than likely pick up a pup. They disappear, bam. Then next thing you know, that night, there's dogs missing. So definitely have, remember, if you're breeding dogs, you're not just a dog breeder, you are a business. So protect your business as best you can, and that kind of stuff is getting cheaper and cheaper. And if you're raising bullies to be couch potatoes, there's nothing wrong with going to get that German Shepherd or something that is going to protect your home, that Pressa, that Cane Corso, something that's going to also protect your home and your bullies. A lot of people don't realize back in the day, especially those pits that were kept in kennels, but a lot of those fighting dogs were protected by regular mutts that were just human aggressive. You know what I mean? Because those fighting dogs weren't. So when you get into this, remember you do have a business. Remember people may not be smart enough to understand that when you get money, you deposit it into the bank. They may assume that you are just stashing money at home. We don't know what goes through a criminal's mind other than they want what you have. So protect what it is that you have with you got what, Ring and home alarms, ADT, you got all kinds of resources out there to keep your home safe. Make sure that you stick with it. And when you are dealing with somebody, call your buddies, call your homies, and bam, hey, I got a guy coming to pick up to the dog at such and such tomorrow, or a guy that wants to come through and see my kennel at such and such time tomorrow. Come through, kick it with us while we do that. And that way, situation's a little more intimidating to somebody that has it in their mind to try to intimidate you to get what they want. Definitely be smart. Hey, what's up, Dark Side Kennels in the house? Felix Jones said finally caught one. Let's see. I got a female and a male pit bull and can get one more. Should I get a male or female? It depends on what you need. So you have a female and a male pit bull. When you look at that female and you look at that male, what is it that they have to offer to the pit bull world? What is it that they have to offer to the clientele that you are selling? When you figure that out and the direction that you plan on going with your breedings, whether it be for catch work, you want a dog that's just extremely driven when playing fetch, you want a dog that can go to the dog park and get along with all dogs, that's what's going to dictate what you need to get as far as whether you need to get a male or a female. So think about the look of your dogs, the purpose of your dogs, the temperament of your dogs, the ability of your dogs that you want to be 10 years from now. And whatever you get needs to be dictated from there. Now, let's say your female's got everything you want, your male's got everything you want. Now you're trying to figure out whether you need to get another male or a female that has everything you want. I would probably go for a female. That way you can produce more pups and you have the opportunity to pick the best pups to keep within your yard to continue breeding. Let's see here. Banteria Fur Baby said, good day, sir. Just want to know why my dogs like to eat rocks every time I let them out. Aren't you the one that asked that earlier? I think I answered that. Or did we have that question twice? Hold on. Now I'm trying to find that comment, and I can't find it. I think you just asked that just like 5-10 minutes ago. If I'm not mistaken, that was you. But at the same time, I don't remember that name because you got fur babies in there, and I don't remember seeing that. All right, just in case that wasn't you, but you just happen to have the same question. Rocks contain minerals. They also are fun. So if you get a dog that happens to like biting rocks and eating rocks, and you said stones, rock stones, so I think you're the same person, but just in case you're not, I want to make sure I answer this. There's two issues you could be dealing with. One, just a bored dog. So when you let that dog out, start doing things with the dog, throwing the ball, playing fetch, tug of war, whatever it may be. Start doing things with the dog so that it has an outlet. Next thing you need to deal with is the dog needs to understand that this is not what you want it to do. So when you see it going toward the rock, scold the dog, call it back to you. If you can get between the dog and the rock before it gets there, that's even better. Best commands are the ones that are nonverbal. You can get between the dog, plus tell it no, back up, move the dog away, not with your hands, but with your body, just with your movement. Get the dog to go away from the rock and then move on. Now, once you've gotten the dog away from the rock, find something to do with the dog. The other reason the dog could be going after rocks and minerals and stones is because of the taste of minerals and a lot of things that are good for the dog. To offset that desire, it could be something that your dog is missing in his nutrition. You can make up for that by a lot of the green veggies. You can also make up for that by adding just a little bit, like just pinch a little bit and throw it in the dog's water of Himalayan sea salt. It is packed with a lot of minerals and nutrients that are good for animals. Matter of fact, those of you who have had rats or hamsters or anything like that, if you notice, they always tell you get that little block of the Himalayan sea salt that hangs on the side of the cage, and you'll see the hamster just sitting there licking it because they get a lot of minerals from that they're deprived of from the other things that we feed them. So if you throw just a pinch, I add about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to my dog's water every day. And I also add just a little squeeze, little pinch. I do 2 shakes of Himalayan sea salt. Now, 2 shakes is based off the container you buy, but it should only just amount to about a pinch into their water. And they get a lot of minerals and nutrition from that. So it depends on why the dog's doing it, but that should help you stop it no matter what. I got a Borbell protect. Ooh, there you go. Nice. Let's see. Felix Jones said, at what age do pups start showing rank drive? All right, we're about to get into that. I have a 4-month-old that shows that she may be space dominant toward. Did you see how he says space dominant? Dominance is person, place, or thing. Is what a dog. Dominance drive tends to be a dog that wants to dominate person, place, or thing. We're about to get into rank drive. Towards the other dogs in the house, does this have anything to do with rank? Probably not. She probably just likes her space. All right, we got one more comment and let's get into it. I got my female pit bull working in tandem with my male American Sentinel. Oh, you got a Sentinel. Nice. They keep my property on lock. There you go. All right, so when it comes to rank drive, it is often confused with dominance drive, which is why we did dominance drive last week, or actually, yeah, I think it was, or the week before, actually 3 weeks before. Then we got back to the series so we're now getting back to the series for the first time since I have moved. So it's been about 3-4 weeks. But we left off with dominance drive, which is often confused with rank drive. They do come across very similar. Rank drive is, before we go get into it, again, hit that like button. For those of you who hit me on Messenger, I'm almost caught up with Messenger on Facebook and IG. I will be resuming consultations officially as of tomorrow. I've got 4 to do. And then I will start scheduling more as of tomorrow. When it comes to rank drive is a dog's desire to dominate the pack and to be the top dog within the pack. Sometimes dogs, now, as far as dominance drive versus rank drive, dominance drive has nothing to do with being the top dog in the pack. Dominance drive can show itself through the owner. I don't want other dogs coming up to the owner. I have my favorite place on the couch. A dog can be food dominant. Dominance drive shows its place when it comes to person, place, or thing. Rank drive shows its face when it comes to the pack. That dog wants to be the dominant member of the pack. Now, some dogs become the dominant member of the pack just because of their age. You got a 3-year-old dog, you buy some pups. They grow up, that dog is obviously top dog due to age. That doesn't mean that it's rank driven. It just means it's top rank due to its age. Some do it because they achieve top rank due to the fact they never want to be dominated. They are extremely high dominance driven, and they may not pick a person, place, or thing. That person, place, and thing becomes themselves. I don't want to be dominated in any kind of situation. And oftentimes that can rise a dog due to the top of the rank, even though they don't have a desire to be the top dog of the rank. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. They just have a high dominance drive and are focused on not being dominated in any situations. Rank driven means this is a dog that is wanting to be dominant over every member of the pack due to his desire to be the top dog. These are the rank driven dogs. It's not the same as dominance drive. It is the fact that this dog wants to be top dog. Doesn't want to dominate a thing. It just wants to be top dog. This is the most useless drive of all the drives. It is unnecessary in domesticated animals. But because they are predators, because they are pack animals, it is always going to show its form in some way. One dog is going to be a little bit more rank driven than the next dog, and therefore it is always going to show. You just don't want a dog that is high rank driven, that has a high rank drive. Rank drive has, especially high dominance drive, but rank drive is another that has to be ruled with a heavy hand. You can have a dog with a, that's another thing, since we haven't been here in 3 weeks. Remember, we rate drives based off of that. All drives exist in all dogs. The question is how much. So every drive should be rated and ranked low, low to medium, medium, medium to high, high. 5 categories for those drives to fit in. But let's say I have a dog that is just medium rank drive, about average. If I all of a sudden bring 2 dogs into the pack that are low to medium and medium, then guess what? That dog is going to come across as a rank-driven dog. So rank drive is something that you have to truly be aware of. When you start getting dogs that are medium rank drive, medium to high, and high, that is when you need to be very aware of that dog, and you need to rule it with a heavy hand. Now, some people will say, well, how do I know if it's high? How do I know if it's medium? It's based off of what you've learned about that drive. And as you learn more about that drive, you'll end up changing it. But what you breed it to and how you deal with it doesn't change. So it doesn't matter how much you know about the drive or what you don't know about the drive. That just increases your ability to breed for it. But you're going to deal with it the same. The more you learn, you're going to deal with it the same. It's just going to, the more you learn, it's just going to assist you when it comes to breeding. So understand that when it comes to rating the drives, that is 100% you personally. But again, it has to be ruled a heavy hand. You need to start recognizing it before it turns into situations. So sometimes people don't recognize it till a fight breaks out. Some people don't recognize it till they hear a growl. Some people don't recognize it till they hear a focus, see the dog focus. Some don't recognize it until they see an ear twitch, an eyebrow move. The better you get at recognizing it, the earlier it is you are able to stop it. And again, you want to rule it with a heavy hand. To breed out rank drive, it is no different than any other drive. It needs to be replaced with another drive. When you breed it down, you got to replace it with something to keep a balanced version of that dog. If that dog is worth breeding when it comes to that dog's temperament, but your only problem with that dog is that the dog has a high rank drive or a medium to high rank drive or a medium rank drive, whatever it is that you don't want to be there, and you want to breed it down, that's perfectly fine. But you got to remember, you do not breed down or breed out drives without replacing them with another drive or lifting up another drive. So if I've got a high rank driven dog and everything else about this dog is perfect. So now I'm going to go look for other dogs that are low rank driven to breed to create lower rank driven dogs. You need to make sure that you are replacing that drive with something else. It can be play drive, it can be purpose drive, it can be a prey drive, the other things. But you want to make sure that you're replacing that rank drive with something else so that there is a balance and the dogs remain on an even, and the dog remains on an even kill, which makes it easier to train, makes it easier to breed for temperament, and also makes the dog easier to just deal with on a day-to-day basis. If I take a dog that has a high rank drive and all its other drives are set at whatever, and I breed that dog to another dog that has all the drives set at the same place, but it has a lower rank drive, something's going to replace that rank drive. You want to make sure that you're looking ahead and that you're the one replacing it, not the just natural genetics, because genetics are random. So they could throw anything in place. So you want to make sure that you're the one that's saying, okay, he's got a high rank drive and everything else is set at medium. So I finally found me a dog that's got everything set at medium, but it's got a high play drive. But its rank drive is set at low or low to medium. That's a perfect combination because now that rank drive has been balanced, is going to be balanced. That high play drive is going to be balanced. And therefore, you can maneuver forward with this dog and make things more predictable for yourself in your breeding, your clients in their owning, and even your training. Let's see here. The next thing when it comes to a rank-driven dog. So again, you want to make sure that you are balancing it in your breedings. Let's see here. The other thing with rank-driven dogs is how do you recognize it? What signs are you looking for? And before we even go into that, one of the things I also wanted to mention, dogs that tend to be high rank driven, since I was just talking about balancing it with other drives, dogs that tend to be high rank driven tend to be low prey driven, low play driven, low purpose driven. If a dog is high rank driven, their purpose among the pack tends to be strictly focused on being top dogs. The other thing about a high rank driven dog and why you want to breed it out is they can stunt the maturity and the growth of the other drives of the other dogs in your pack. For example, let's say I have a dog that's high prey driven, and we're doing the flirt pole, we're putting on fetch, and he just loves it. High prey driven, high play driven, high purpose driven. I'm switching from thing to thing, and he's just going right along with it. And all of a sudden, I bring out the rank driven dog. Guess what happens when that dog gets the flirt pole? Rank-driven dog starts a fight, starts that intensity and that tension that doesn't need to be there. Takes away the fun for the other dog. Guess what happens when the play-driven dog prey-driven dog gets to the ball first before the rank-driven dog? Again, he's in that dog's face, constantly wanting to do it. What ends up happening is they stifle the growth and the drive of other dogs when you have rank-driven dogs within your pack. And that's why I say you want to breed it out. You also want to rule it with a heavy hand, because they can stunt the maturity and the perfection of performance in the other dogs of the pack, because they constantly are not wanting to. They want to go after it. They want to do what you want them to do, but they don't want that conflict that comes with the rank-driven dog. And that is why you want to get rid of it and at least breed it out. When it comes to recognizing the rank drive in a pup, remember, this is a genetic thing. So it is going to show itself in pups. You are going to see pups that are constantly interfering with play situations. Two dogs are getting along great, and then here this dog comes. They're going to do a lot of growling when the other pups may not be. Now, sometimes dogs growl just out of intensity for what's going on in the moment. A rank-driven dog, oftentimes you'll notice them growl before they done full intensity. For instance, two dogs bite a play toy. Before they even start pulling back and focusing their bodies on pulling back, this dog is already growling. The dog that's fully pulling back and trying to get it and then starts growling may not be rank-driven. But that dog that is, before he even gets to fully pulling back, that pup that starts growling before he even gets to, extending his front legs and trying to pull back, he's trying to intimidate that other pup with his growl, rather than using his growl to get more strength and more focus. Those are things that you'll notice. Those pups are quick to get involved in disputes. Two pups end up getting into a little skirmish. They're 6, 7, 8 weeks old. They get in a little skirmish, and before you can get there, this other pup comes all the way clear across the kennel, and he's already involved. Chances are he's going to be a rank-driven dog. He's not going to want other dogs fighting around him, because then they're stepping up in rank. He wants to keep everybody down. You see what I'm saying? So he's going to be the first one being nosy, first one involved, might even jump in on the fight. Wherever the majority of the pups are, your rank-driven dog is going to be there. That's one of the things. And all these things by themselves don't equal a rank-driven dog. All these things together are what equal a rank-driven puppy. So again, wherever all the pups are, that rank-driven dog, he's going to be there. He's going to be in the middle. His tail is always going to be up straight. They don't move around. Another thing with rank-driven pups, they don't move around other pups. They move through them. You always know it. In order for me to achieve rank, you have to know I exist so that I can take that position. So they're going to move through pups. They're not going to move around pups. They're going to want to be seen, want to be heard. They're going to want to use their body, their force. So those are things to pay attention to when it comes to rank-driven pups. If you're looking for dogs that are protected, there's no need for rank drive. You're looking for dogs for hunting. There's no need for rank drive. You want to keep it as low as possible in your breedings. When you start to notice it in dogs, you want to make sure that you curb it. Don't allow themselves to achieve rank. When it comes to us as humans, I know a lot of times we say, "Oh, our dogs love us. We love our dogs." The truth is, the relationship between man and dog is a symbiotic relationship. Okay, we get something from them. For some of us, we get work done, herding, protecting, whatever, hunting. For some of us, they fill a void in our life. You know, we got a full family, but we still want something else, so we get a dog. You know what I mean? For some people, they don't have a family. They don't have children, so they get a dog. There's a symbiotic relationship when it comes to man and dog. For the dogs, what do? They get attention. They get food. They get water. They get shelter. All those things that dogs will be looking for with a pack. If there were no humans, they get those from us as humans. So it's a symbiotic relationship. When it comes to these dogs, and when it comes to the rank drive within dogs, you will have some dogs that their rank drive doesn't carry over into humans. And that's why how you know it's a symbiotic relationship. A lot of times people like to say we're the leader of the pack. Truth is, no, we're the dominant animal that is around the pack. The elephant is the dominant animal around a lion pride. It is not part of the pride, though. You get what I'm saying? The elephant ain't looking to start trouble with them, but when I'm coming, when the rest of the elephants are coming, when my kids are coming, I need you lions to obey these rules that I have established. It's no different than us with our dogs. It's a symbiotic relationship. And the elephant and the lion isn't a symbiotic relationship, but I use that as an example to say the lion does what the elephant says, even though the elephant is not a member of his pack. We are not a member of a dog's pack. When we have one dog, it's a pack. The minute you get one more dog, especially 3 dogs, they are no longer looking at you as a member of their pack. They're looking at you as the boss who controls the pack. You're that other animal around here that controls the pack. You feed the pack. You take care of the pack. But you're not a member of the pack. You don't know how to communicate to us with your ears. You don't know how to communicate to us with your eyebrows. When I lift my eyebrows at you as a human, you don't respond the way the rest of the pack does. So the dogs learn quickly who is in the pack, and that's the dogs. So typically a rank-driven dog is only concerned with the pack. It doesn't carry over into the human, into the owners. Here's the problem. Some rank-driven dogs, it will carry over into the humans. A lot of times, the children will be first. And this is why there is no need for rank drive within us as humans. So let's go ahead, or within the dogs and us as humans. Let's go ahead and see what the comments are. But again, also, one of the best drives to replace rank drive is never going to be dominance. It's never going to be dominant, the dominance drive within the dog. One of the best is purpose drive. Another one is play drive. Prey drive, you want to be careful and make sure that the dog that you're getting, that you're breeding to, has an extremely low rank drive before you breed your dog with a high rank drive to a dog that's got a low, that you think is a low rank drive, but has a high prey drive. So you want to make sure that you're that you're very observant of that. And that is why the two easiest drives to use to replace rank drive is purpose and play. Find a dog that's got a high purpose drive or a high play drive and a low rank drive, and then breed those two together, and you'll get a dog that is, and you create a litter that the majority of it is based off of dogs that are able to get along with the rest of the pack. They're not pushing rank, they're not pushing dominance. So that's what you want to be aware of. Let's see here. Donna Whitaker says, can I give 5-month-old Frenchies a teeny bit of Himalayan sea salt, and at what age can I give them garlic? I hold off on garlic until the dogs hit 6 months, and I give half a garlic clove. That's when I start introducing garlic to the dogs at 6 months. The reason I try not to add too much to food until that age is I want to see how those dogs are going to be growing first, and then I watch the things that I see they may be lacking or needing and things like that. And then that's right around 6 months old is when I start including, the blueberries, strawberries, garlic, things like that. The Himalayan sea salt at 5 months old. So basically, I would wait 1 more month. But because the dog is only 6 months old, give half a clove. And this depends on, okay, you got a Frenchie. My bad. So Frenchie's only going to get half a clove as an adult. So what I would do is hold off on the garlic until the Frenchie hits almost adult size. And I'm thinking for a Frenchie that's probably around like 8 months. So hold off until then. Once he hits adult size, you can start giving it half a clove. Or you can give it one full small clove, but just do it every other day. Remember, when you are giving it garlic, you want that garlic to sit out for about 5 to 7 to 10 minutes. It might be like 7 to 10 minutes. The best way to do that is handle your garlic first. Mince it, grate it, whatever it is you're going to do to break it all up into small pieces. Do that first. Once you've done that, then take your time handling the rest of the food so that the garlic airs out. The airing out of the garlic is what brings out the nutrients and the things that the dog needs to get from it and gives it that ability to clean a lot of the toxins that are within the dog. As far as the Himalayan sea salt, I would start that when you start the garlic. So right about 8 months, start introducing that to the dog. Let's see. Devil 101 says, sorry, bro, I'm working in a few hours. I'll watch the rest of your stream tomorrow. Sending love from Scotland. Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for tuning in. Rose said, my pups are 9 weeks old and coming along good. I traded my neighbor. What did you trade? I traded my neighbor's one of my female pups, okay, for one of his males off his litter and sold one male. What kind of pups did he have that you traded for? Rosa, I've been working them already with the flirt pole too. There you go. There you go. And then again, they're 9 months old. They're big dogs, so just keep it easy for a short period because all that's going to do is increase their drive and their love for it when they're older, and those growth plates are connected at about 18 months. So just keep it easy. I believe you mentioned before you can find dominance in rank drive, but not rank in dominance drive. Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes. You can't achieve rank without having a certain level of dominance, but you can achieve dominance without having a certain level of rank. For instance, food dominance has nothing to do with rank drive. These are just dogs that don't want anybody interfering with their food. You have some dogs that prefer the left end of the couch. That's because they have a dominance drive for that spot. They even may have a high dominance drive for that spot. So remember, dominance is all about person, place, or thing. Sometimes that person, place, and thing is the dog itself. Those are dogs that tend to achieve higher ranks within the pack, but aren't necessarily rank driven. The worst thing that you can have in your pack is a dog with a high dominance drive, just does not like to be dominated, and a dog that has a high rank drive. They're gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore you have to be the bigger member. You have to be the elephant amongst the lion pride in those types of situations so that they know you're not allowed to get into a fight. I didn't see who looked at who. I didn't see who raised their eyebrow. I didn't catch the ear twitch. But I don't like what I'm seeing, so therefore I'm breaking it up. I'm moving my body in, my noise, my sounds. I'm moving that in to take this over and put an end to it. So yes, you're 100% right. Sid 1026 said, "What do you feel the American bully community is missing to be better? And if you had unlimited funds, what do you feel you need to improve your kennel?" Um, I made a post about a week ago. And it was funny that some people had an issue with it, but I think the American bully community has forgotten that the American bully is a dog. You cannot, and as I said in the post, you can't better a breed without taking that breed to create better dogs. And when the American bully community understands that, this is a breed that, in a lot of years, to me, has the most potential when it comes to the mainstream public. I don't know of any other breed that has as much potential as the American bully to be great dogs in public. Go to PetSmart. Um, go to the dog park. Impress your neighbor. When he gets his new Rottweiler, it still don't look as good as your American bully. I just haven't seen a dog in a breed come along in a long time that has as much potential as the American bully. Um, when it comes to the colors, the look, everything about the dog is extremely impressive. It's got what the bully community calls that wow factor. Um, the problem is we've negated the temperament and we've negated the ability of the breed because we get caught up in wow factor for show breeders and breeders, not for the mainstream public. The mainstream public oftentimes does not like what the American bully like, and we're starting to breed more bulldog traits into the American bully. So I feel that that's what the community is missing. We're forgetting that the dog is a dog, that the American bully is a dog. It's not just an American bully. It's a dog. It's a predator. It's a canine. It's a pack animal. And it's a purpose-driven animal. Whether you supply that purpose, that's up to you. But it's a purpose-driven animal. We take in dogs that were bred for years, hundreds to thousands of years for work, and we've utilized what we liked about those dogs to get a look rather than an ability and a temperament. So I think that's what the American bully community is missing, forgetting that these are dogs and the lack of understanding that you can't better a breed without using that breed to create better dogs. Then you said if you had unlimited funds, what do you feel you need to improve your kennel? I think we are definitely getting ready to pick up 2 dogs that are going to greatly improve our kennel, or at least take our kennel on the path that we always planned on it going. I don't think I would need funds to improve the kennel. I think once I get the conditioning aspect of our yard going, that would be pretty much it. Other than that, I don't really think it would be fun. So I would say it would be, to improve the kennel would be the right dogs and the right stimuluses within my yard when it comes to the various drives of the dog, and seeing what's what, who's who, and conditioning. I would say those would be the things, and they're getting ready to take place shortly. Casper, if you lower rank drive, what drive would you replace it with? Purpose and play. Those are the best 2 because they are both submissive. Play can't happen without me being involved. Purpose can't happen without me being involved. Rank drive takes place without me being involved. So replace it with something that requires you, and that's purpose and play. Let's see. Is keeping another dog from getting a ball you throw only to drop it and have no other interest in it, but to keep the other dog from getting it, a rank drive thing? Yes. Now, it can be a dominance drive thing, but chances are you're looking at rank drive. And that's why I say they can stifle the growth and the interest of other dogs when you get a dog that is rank driven. My Jack Russell was a extremely rank-driven, prey-driven dog. It was like every drive in her was through the roof. But it wasn't as bad for the other dogs because she was only 12 to 15 pounds. 15 pounds when she was overweight, 12 to 13 pounds when she was in shape. So, you know, if they got the ball before her, which 9 times out of 10 they did, they just knew lift their head high and walk past her. My bull lurcher got to the point where she would get the ball first and then put it down to let the Jack Russell bring it back. So that, as you can see there, she's stifling the growth. When we would take them to Dog Beach and I would throw a ball, you get anywhere from 25 to 30 dogs chasing after it. My bull lurcher would outrun all of them. She'd get the ball first. She'd bring it back through all the crowd of dogs. And once she got to my Jack Russell, she'd put it down, make sure my Jack Russell was the one to get it. My Jack Russell would pick it up, and then she'd bring it back to me. And you get all these big, huge dogs, pit bulls, American bullies, cane corsos, all these dogs wanting to get the ball from her. And my bull lurcher would make sure that they couldn't get to her. And every now and then, she'd get frustrated by a dog that was getting too aggressive, and my Jack Russell would put the ball down, stand over it, and be just there growling, daring a dog to get to it. So she was an extremely rank-driven dog. But yeah, what you're looking at sounds like it is a rank-driven issue. Because if the dog is more dominance-driven over the game of fetch, it's going to work hard to get to the ball. Now, that dog could be dominant over toys. So that's why you want to look at a group of different traits to decide which one it is. So that dog could just be dominant over toys and is getting outran by this other dog. So therefore, it's not it. So okay, you say the dog gets the ball, but it's not into bringing it back to you. So purpose drives out the window, play drives out the window. Because if I want to play, I know the game only continues when I bring the ball back to you. So this is a question of whether the dog is ball dominant or toy dominant, or whether the dog is rank driven. So you'll have to look at other scenarios to see exactly what it is. But it's definitely one of those two, toy driven or possessive driven, toy dominant or possession dominant, and versus rank drive. But it does, to me, that sounds a lot like rank drive. My Sentinel has 0 rank drive towards my family. He's happy to be at the bottom of the pack and do what he's told. But see now, the creator of the American Sentinels, and some H. Lee Robinson. Some of you have seen I did a live with H. Lee Robinson a while back, and those are things that we talked about. He has a full understanding of the rate driving dogs, and he doesn't want to see it in his dogs. So that as he created that breed, he was making sure to breed that out of it. So first his dogs started off as whatever breed they were. He started putting them together to create his band dogs, and then he let those band dogs in his yard evolve into his new breed, which is the American Sentinel. For those that don't know, it's an extremely intense dog. It can be. You want to make sure that you are aware and have a good understanding of dogs when it comes to dealing with band dogs or breeds that are created from band dogs. If you're not part of our pack, he's going to hurt you or hump you. There you go. Let's see. Felix said, how long does it take hierarchy to set in amongst dogs? It depends on how high the rank drive is within those dogs or how low it is. So I can have a dog that's medium rank drive. And amongst these members of the pack that are low driven, it's established quick. Amongst these members of the pack that are higher rank driven, it's established quick. So it just depends on the rank drive within your pack and where it's set. So if you have dogs with medium to high rank drive, it's going to be established quick. You know, if you have dogs with from low to high rank drive, it's going to be established quick. When it's similar, low to medium, medium to high, not necessarily lows and highs, it's going to take a while to develop. A lot of that has to do with the maturity of the dogs, and the maturity of the dogs has a lot to do with the breed of the dog. I have 3 dogs that have been around each other for 2 months. I see them battling it out through play every day, different winner every week. So they're going to work it out. You know what I mean? When they do it with play, you just want to keep a close eye on it. You know what I mean? When it gets intense that it turns into a fight, now the dogs are going to establish a rank drop. Now the dogs are going to establish rank, and you want to prevent that. You don't want If you have a high rank driven dog in your yard, you want to prevent him from being able to express it. So when you have those situations and they're doing it through play, cool. Because at least they're establishing the hierarchy in a political manner. If it starts to turn into a fight, now you're dealing with, this isn't politics, this is now war. And you want to prevent war from happening. So as long as they're doing it through play, they'll understand it before you even understand who's the ranking members and how the hierarchy works. There's nothing wrong with that. But if they're establishing rank through force and they're establishing hierarchy through force, you got to acknowledge that now I've made a mistake and I need to get involved and prevent it from getting there. One of the worst things people say is, oh, I just got to let them handle that on their own so they can establish their hierarchy. No, that's not how you do it, because then now you're crippling the growth of the other dogs in the pack just so you can have this one dog satisfied by his position in the hierarchy. And that's not how you want your pack to work. The elephant don't care who's king of the pack. Just move out my way when I'm walking out the river and don't touch his babies. You need to be the elephant amongst the lions. And that's how you want to look at the dogs. I don't want you fighting over here. I don't want you roaring at each other. I don't want you testing the other males and putting an end to all that. Now, you guys just want to roll around and play and all that, cool. But the minute I hear intensity over here, a certain level of intensity, that elephant becomes attracted to the lions and they break that up or cause the lions to run off. And that's what you want to be. Not the top dog of the pack, not the ranking member of the pack, not the dominant member of the pack. You want to be the elephant amongst the lions. And that's the best way to look at your position amongst the dog pack. But while you're watching it take place and it's just play, enjoy. Learn from your dogs. Don't use your voice. As you guys have often heard me say, the best thing you could do to learn dogs is sit for 2 hours in silence. The next best thing you could do is sit for 2 hours in silence and start taking notes on what it is you see. Over time, and start reading your notes. And over time, your notes will become more and more detailed. So pay attention to what you're seeing so that you can learn about them through this play interaction, establishing hierarchy. But the minute it becomes intense, looks like it's about to turn into a fight, the minute the dogs give displays of aggression or threats, you want to get involved and break that up. You don't want it leading into what you don't want it to be. Said at least to my eyes, there is a new winner every week. You're going to have that. When they're young dogs, it's going to appear that way. And there's nothing wrong with it as long as they're still getting along. And let me turn on this light. Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it as long as the dogs, are getting along and it's still play. Because they are using play to test themselves. But play is a form of politics. It's a form of give and take and negotiation. The problem is when they start, getting into fights and things like that. Naked HD, XY. Oh, wow. What are you doing on my live? This is not the place. We've just been infiltrated by the porn people. Goodness gracious. All right. Exactly. A nudity troll. Dan G said, highest rank driven dog I ever had was a stray Kirk. Bam. Exactly. Let's see. What up, Belinda? Pitbull Bell is in the house. Did you attract the porn people that was up here, Belinda? Because they came in at the same time I got to you. What's up, Belinda? Thanks for joining in. Felix Jones said, I swear this 4-month-old I have is a little rank driven, but her prey drive is super high. I just noticed little things like her going through the other dogs. There you go. And just keep an eye on it. She's only 4 months old. Keep an eye on it. She's a female. Doesn't mean she won't try to take top rank in the pack, but just keep an eye on it. And if you like her being super high prey driven, but you want to breed out the rank drive, like I said earlier, the best thing to do is find another dog to breed her to that is super high prey driven, but has a high play or purpose drive to not prey, but play, P-L-A-Y, or purpose drive to replace that rank drive. And now you will create balance while getting rid of what you don't want. Report the spam account. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back through it and definitely do that. Who is the spam account? Not you. We got a porno person above you, Belinda. That's all it is. Kia Ora, Thor Kennels and family, nice to see you live again, Daryl. It's always interesting in what other people ask and what your knowledge and opinions are, and others on the live, yours and the dogs. Thank you for joining in, Susie Q Kiwi. Thanks for joining in. Let's see. Pitbull Bell, I don't recall their name. I already blocked it. Oh, you know what? Can I block it from here? Let me see. You know what? I'd have to go to YouTube to do it. Put user in time. Oh, block user. Bam. Let's see if that works. All right. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Okay, I just popped in a few minutes ago. Yeah, the porno people came in with you, Belinda. We're not going to blame you yet. Dan G said, do you believe in fight drive? I personally do, but I've heard people a lot more knowledge than myself argue against it. When you say, do I believe in fight drive, I'm assuming that you're saying, do I believe it exists? And yes, it does exist. It is the highest level of fight drive is gameness. So yes, I do believe it exists. Do I want fight drive in my dog? I do want a certain level of fight drive. And the reason I want that is, let's say my dog's protective but has a low fight drive, has a high protection drive but has a low fight drive. What dog did I just describe? A Chihuahua. So if I got a dog that has a high protective drive, and I actually want to have a dog that has a certain amount of civil drive, meaning that it's willing to engage, and I wanted to be able to actually protect my family if I can't get there, then you're going to need a certain level of fight drive, because sometimes your dog is going to come across people who are going to fight back. And if there's a low fight drive, the minute they start fighting back, your dog's going to back off. So you do want a certain level of fight drive within your dog. That way, the dog, what would you say? Dog jumps on a person, the person's kicking it, punching it, they're giving the dog just as much as the dog gives. Because it is a predator, it has the ability to take it to another level. But the only way it's going to take it to another level is if it does have a certain level of fight drive and gets angered by this person who is causing it pain in the middle of the fight, and therefore brings up its intensity. So I think fight drive anywhere from medium. And you also got to remember, fight drive doesn't take place until the fight starts. You know what I'm saying? So that means the dog is already engaged. Anything can run in and start a fight. But when something starts fighting back, that's when fight drive takes place. And you do want a dog to have a certain level of fight drive in order to protect your family beyond just barking or taking a stance. Let's see. How long you been on? I came on at, 7 o'clock my time. So I'm in Arkansas. So what are we, Central Time? So that's when I came on, which is 5 o'clock California time. So we've been on here, an hour and 16 minutes. Yeah, about an hour. Let's see here. Danji, absolutely, but some will argue, and it depends on the breed. I think you're talking about the fight drive, yes. And I agree 100% with what she just said. Max Temple 100. What's up, man? Thanks for joining in. What else we got here? Kia Ora, Pitbull Bell. I hope your dogs are well. CQ, thanks you. They are well. What's going on, OG? Welcome back. Hey, I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back here with you guys. Yes. Thanks for the Father's Day wishes. Happy Father's Day to all you guys out there who got kids, who got nieces and nephews that you're involved with, god kids, all that, step kids, whatever. I don't even believe in the whole step kid thing. But yeah, happy Father's Day to you guys that are the men amongst children and having a good time with those children. Shout out to everybody. Neat uncles and all that. Older brothers, happy Father's Day. Pitbull Bell, awesome stuff. Let's see here. BBB, what's up? Kings of Bully Excellence said, yo, what's good? What's up, man? Thanks for joining in. I really want to know what you think about the origins of the tricolor and how far back you remember seeing it and how it transitioned into the American Bully. The bully community likes to push the narrative that the tricolor came from the black and tan pit bull. But there's very little American Pit Bull Terrier in the American Bully. Most people who got these dogs going to have tries wouldn't have had access to it. So I do know of people in the early 90s, I was one of them, who bred my rock, allowed my rock to breed to pit bulls. So you figure you take that, person takes that, they go to another rock. Next thing you know, you incorporated this tri gene into your breedings. So yes, I do feel the tri gene came from the Rottweiler because the Rottweiler was easily accessible to everyone in the world. It's hard for me to believe that this dude from inner city LA tracked down this other guy who just happened to have a black and tan pit bull, and then all of a sudden we got all these tricolored dogs. That just doesn't add up. No dogs work that way. But the narrative in the bully community has always been that the tricolor came from the black and tan pit bull. That's not true. No way that that's possible. It came, the majority of these, some may have, but there's very little pit bull in these dogs, especially if you're saying you didn't want these dogs to be game. Okay? So the tricolor came from the Rottweiler. People like me who had good rocks and were allowing pit bull breeders to breed to those Rottweilers, not to my females, but to my males. That's where it came from. It's the only thing that logically makes sense because most people didn't have access to any other tricolored dogs other than or dogs with tri markings other than the Rottweiler and the Doberman. Other people will say, oh, it came from the tri-English bulldog. No, because tri's been in the American Bully and the dogs, the mixed dogs that went into the American Bully for way too long. Every now and then you'll come across somebody that was breeding bullies from the beginning and they'll admit that it came from the Rottweiler. And we used to see lots of Rottweiler pit bull mixes with tri markings back in the day, especially in the mid-90s to early 2000s. Furthermore, do you feel there is any real comparison when it comes to Merle origins versus tri origins? No. The Merle origin came into the bullies later through the Alapaha and the Catahoula. It's harder to tell now because they've been bred back into the bully stock and blood. But in the beginning, when you started seeing Merles get popular, those dogs are extremely lean. And a few Merle breeders, I shouldn't say a lot, but a few Merle breeders have hit me up, especially about 2-3 years ago, because they had concerns with the way the dogs were nipping at their kids, things like that. Let you know that there was another breed used to create this Merle. So some did use the Alapaha, some used the Catahoula, and that's where your Merle came from, to get the Merle gene plus keep the American Bully look. And that was as of recent. What's good, Trench? Let's see here. Things back in the day, my heavy Carver Sorrels dogs, I get one try, then I bred a certain way. Comes from the hounds and the true APBT. Agreed. Now you had the black and tan terrier that was also bred into the APBT, but you also had your ticks, not tick as in the bug, tick as in your blue ticks and things like that. Those types of dogs and those hounds that also had black and tan markings. But a lot of the pits, and it's funny you say that because a lot of people don't like to admit that hounds went into the APBT, into their creation. But between the black and tan terrier and those hunting hounds that give the APBT that lung and that wing capacity, that stamina, that is where you got the markings in your black and tans. Zachariah said, yeah, man, I work with all kinds of different breeds every Sunday, and I definitely agree American Bullies are special and have a ton of potential, especially being a developing breed. I agree. We just got to stop people from ruining them. I honestly think the American Bully will come when the mainstream gets involved. A lot of the dogs that you see in the show ring, the actual mainstream dog buyers will have no desire for it. So I think once we get to that level, we'll be good. Things will start going the right path because they're going to have more things to do with them. They're going to desire to do more things with them. We have wolves in certain area where here smash brush wolves, little small brush wolves. You know, we have wolves in Arkansas. From what I've seen, they don't seem to be that big, bigger than the coyotes here. But yeah, it's funny you say small brush wolves. I've never heard the phrase brush wolves used. But I get what you're saying when you say that. I think the powder tail will be my next mini machine. Love those guys. That's what my wife wants. She wants another dog to replace Fox, another small dog. My issue is I know it's going to be more difficult to find Jack Russells with Fox's mentality than it will be to find Patterdales. There's also a dude down here that breeds pits and Patterdales. So I'm going to probably check him out in the next few months because my wife wants a little badass dog like we had. And like I told her, I think we can only guarantee that mentality and that attitude by getting a Patterdale. So we are probably going to get a Patterdale. I think I want, if she chooses to do that, but so far that's what she wants. She wants a Patterdale and she wants goats. I think I want to get more than one, probably a male and a female. Let's see. He's pretty far behind. He's pretty far behind his car. Am I? Where am I? I'm at 8:04. You guys are, and we're at 8:24. So I'm about 20 minutes behind. Let me try to catch up. Yeah. Y'all quit talking shit. Let's see here. Max, let's see. Max, that's one bad little dog. I had one years ago that helped Bay and assist. A lot of them succeed. Another one is the Jag Terrier. That's another dog, small dog that is good with hog. It sounds like he has more fun by himself with the toy. The owner hasn't taught him that he makes the toy fun. There you go. There you go. And that could be an issue. But if they're actively playing fetch, then he should get that the toy is fun. Sounds like he's more interested in that other dog that gets the toy. That's what's up. Yes, I hear they hunt well with others. Now, sometimes Jack Patterdales can be a feisty breed where they get a hold of something and something else comes to get involved in that Patterdale. Typically they have the focus that keeps them focused on what they're on. The problem is sometimes you will get Patterdales, especially if the two animals kill that thing. The Patterdale realizes it's lifeless. They can be quick to jump on another dog to keep them away from it. Have you ever had a good bully that doesn't bark and has great temperament and doesn't bark ever unless his owner's in trouble or he's playing with litter mates? I don't understand why he does. Let me see. Have you ever had a good bully that doesn't bark, has great temperament, and doesn't bark ever unless his owner is in trouble or he is playing with litter mates? I don't understand why he does this. If I'm understanding your statement correct, we have to understand that just like our car alarm isn't communicating with us, it's just making a noise in response to something. Barking with dogs is not a form of communication like growling, eyes, ears, eyebrows, stance, things like that. Barking is a immature thing that we have amongst wolves that we have bred into dogs. A lot of the traits of dogs a wolf grows out of as they hit 2, 3, 4 years old. And dogs don't grow out of them until they hit 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. So we have taken a lot of the signals and signs that puppy wolves do and use them to our advantage in our creation of the dog. So some dogs are going to have a higher propensity to bark. Some dogs are going to have a lesser propensity to bark. If you got a dog that is barking due to only having fun or excitement, then letting other things outside of the pack know that we're here, then, that's a good thing. What you don't want is there shouldn't be too many bullies that just bark nonstop. None of our dogs bark a lot. They will bark and to let, they see something that they don't want approaching, they'll bark to let it know, I'm here, I see you. And that's pretty much that. Bark is just an alarm system. It's not like a true form of communication. So the dog shouldn't be barking a lot other than your terriers, and that typically is out of excitement. There's nothing else they can do. There's a wall there. They know something's on the other side, and the only thing left to do is bark. That's the only other place for the energy to go. When I get my hands on one, do they run expensive? If you're talking about Patterdales, they are not very expensive. Let's see. I think the dude here in Arkansas that breeds them, I want to say his go anywhere from like 200 to 500 bucks. His are pretty cheap, so they're not that expensive. Now, when you can, there are some ugly Patterdales, great workers, but they're kind of ugly. So to get a good looking one, you want to make sure that you look at the parents, and typically they're going to run a little higher, but they're not an expensive breed. Let's see here. Here's a breech pup, but a first-time mom. He was 30 minutes out of the sack, half body, rear hanging out. Damn. And I brought him back. Could this be a reason? I don't think that would have anything to do with it. Because he doesn't know he was a breech. So I don't think that would have anything to do with it. I would just keep an eye on it, and then if it's something that you're not feeling, then curb it. And if it's a bully, that should be an issue. It's not like he's a Chihuahua, a Jack Russell, dogs that tend, even a Patterdale, dogs that tend to, the terriers that tend to bark a lot. So it should be something that you can curb. But I also am not sure, because if you're talking about a dog that rather than join the play, it stands outside of the play barking, but doesn't get involved in the play that the other dogs are having, that can be annoying. And I get what you're saying. Try to spend more one-on-one time, whatever the other dogs are doing, try to spend more one-on-one time doing that with that dog. If you have two dogs and he stands there on the outside of them playing, barking, try to give him more one-on-one time with those other dogs. So him and one of the other dogs. And then bring another dog into it, and then gradually get them back together so he's operating within the pack and he's playing within the pack. So I think I might be a little confused on what it is that you're seeing. That came out wrong. Yes, last time I checked, they were pretty high price, but worth it. Just get from working breeders, not show. Yeah, that exactly. If you get it from a working breeder, it shouldn't be that high for Patterdales. Like I said, the guy, I've been seeing them. Shit, I've seen some for like 300 bucks. I've seen some for about up to 800 bucks. The highest I've seen is 1,500, and that wasn't a show dog. But I'm going based off what I've seen in Arkansas over the years. Now it could be that they've gone up as their popularity increases. So Belinda might be onto something that I just haven't seen recently. Some dogs just aren't as vocal as others. It's not a bad thing. At least you know if he's barking, there's a reason. Bam, there you go. So on the opposite end, if he's not barking a lot and that's your concern, then she nipped that right in the bud. If you say he is willing to bark at least, so that could be it. And as long as he's willing to bark, then it's something that was necessary. Like Floyd never barked ever. So when you did hear him bark, you knew there was a true issue. A squirt bottle pauses the play very well. I control the tempo of the play. There you go. That's the best way to do it. Let's see here. Yeah, so I didn't understand if you were saying he's barking too much or if he's barking at the wrong time or not barking enough. Tony, pretty eye pitch. What you laughing at? Let's see. WYF. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. I'm bad with internet acronyms. My adult dogs, no, I don't play that fighting. All I got to do is use my voice. I don't even have to touch them. There you go. And it's because you established it early. Okay. What? WTF. There you go. I've seen that now, Casper. I know what you're talking about. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, you saw the porn people that joined in for a quick second. Let's see here. Don't y'all be going after the live is over. Don't be going over to no YouTube porns or whatever that was. Why do police prefer high rank dogs versus the PP dog, personal protection dog, who generally prefer lower levels of rank drive? I've never heard that, so I don't understand. I don't understand the logic in that. And when you think about it, you look at dogs that are highly protection trained dogs, personal protection dogs. They release on command. As we can see, a lot of these police dogs don't release on command. So I don't know what the purpose in that would be. And I've actually never heard that they do prefer rank-driven dogs. So that I'm not sure of. Aren't the high-rank herders more likely to corral under pressure? Very much so. And as you see, a lot of police dogs do corral in the heat of the moment. I've even seen them release them on people. The dog runs up. When the person makes a stand, the dog goes around them barking and doesn't engage. But I've never heard that. So that's interesting. That's something I need to look into. If they do have a preference for that, I don't understand why they would. He has good prey drive, but not so much play drive. Yeah, if you've got other dogs, Trench, just take them for more walks together. Try to build the bond between those dogs. Gradually start with low things of play, tug of war, things like that, as long as it doesn't turn into a fight. And then try to bring up the intensity. But if that's just him, if he just has a low play drive, that it's just him. Just think about that when it comes to breeding. It may just be who he is. Let's see here. No problem. Thanks for joining in. Somebody. Okay, so they're still trying to post in here. It's just blocking weirdos. Thanks for the insight, Belinda. Any idea of which hound in particular it may have come from? Because from my understanding, Sorrells dogs have always had the tri-trait traced back to the 1800s. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, the Sorrells dogs got that tri-trait from the Black and Tan Terrier, which is now extinct. And a lot of the dogs back then were bred to those terriers because of their tenacity. Let's see here. Zachariah said, I was supposed to take a part-time job at PetSmart just one day a week to become a pet trainer. A lot easier to get 300 hours to qualify for exam. That's actually smart. I never thought about that. That's actually very smart, because then you get your hours in easier and you're getting paid. That's actually smart. I never thought of that, because I had to go out with people who are already trainers to get my time in for certificate. Random question. Thoughts on the Whippet? I love them. I actually, before I got into bullies and was debating on creating my own breed, the Whippet was going to be a factor in that breed. It was going to be 1/4 of the breed. Part 2 or 3, they talked me into working in dog camp and transferring in a few months. I'm glad I took the job. Now for 8 hours a week, I get to study dog behavioralism. There you go. That's dope. I didn't know PetSmart did all that. I had no idea. And then part 3, both individually and in group settings of generally 12 to 18 dogs. That's dope. Now, and I know they do. I always thought PetSmart was basically just bringing in a trainer who kind of trains the people on that designated day. I didn't know you could use that to work towards getting your training certificates and things like that. Do you see any badass Rotties like in the 90s anymore? No. The new, what they call Servian Rot, I think it's terrible with the smashed in pug face. A lot of breeders that I knew of breeding German Rots for some reason got into the American Rots. My favorite is the German Rot. And I can see a lot of Rottweilers, and it probably takes about 2 to 3 years for me to see one that I'm like, ooh, that's a nice Rot. They're really going down the drain, unfortunately. Eric, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in. Kings, all type of sight and sound hounds bred into Brachiosaurus Bulldog, back to hounds, and then to the unknown white terrier, which we now know is the Bull Terrier. Yeah, and didn't they take his nose and mess it up? Sorrel Bloods is that tricolor. Yep. Sorry, was cooking, got backed up. Let's see. Yes, Dan the Sorrels had lots of try. I always pulled one when I bred my Carver Sorrels into my Red Boy stuff, even Red Boy Jocko stuff. Red Boy Jocko to me was a good line to breed to whatever line you were trying, whatever direction you were trying to go. I wasn't a fan of Red Boy Jocko. People breeding Red Boy Jocko to Red Boy Jocko to Red Boy Jocko. I always thought that was a great line to breed with other lines to get the direction you were trying to go. I like the older Sorrel's Blood, not the tricolor Tatanka stuff. My comments just disappear. Where we go? Okay, there we go. Let's see. Respect for your answers and information. Much love. Much respect and much love back to you, King of Bulls. And thanks for joining in. Walker Hound, Foxhound, also. Yeah, when they're, you got to remember, they weren't breeding. They're breeding for a specific purpose, and that was victory. So the purpose in the Terrier was tenacity. The purpose in the Bulldog was power. The purpose in the Hounds was lung capacity. They just gave you that win and that arch in the chest that you see in many of the game dogs. And that was the purpose. So once you had this Staffordshire Bull Terrier, which was supposed to be the 50-50 Bull and Terrier, you get it to the U.S., and the Hound, the other thing the Hound provides is a rangier type dog. It kind of reduces some of those Bulldog traits and gives you a little bit of the agility that comes from the Terriers and that comes from the Hound. And then it also gave you that wind capacity. Bulldog Terriers were combat dogs. They weren't designed to go long periods of time and then get into combat. The Hound was designed to go for long periods of time, and then it may or may not get into combat, but it was still satisfied by treeing whatever it was doing. So by taking these three things, you just created a dog that could go and go and go when it came to the fight. Good looking out. I'm going to do some more research into that. Let's see. Where am I at? We're at 8:23 in the comments, so I'm still about 20 minutes behind. I think I chopped off about 3 minutes. Almost hopeless for the active, long lifespan dogs due to the majority. Yeah, I think we can get there, though. And I think it's going to create, you're talking about American bullies, I think it's going to take, forget the pockets, but when it comes to the standards and the XLs, I think it's going to take people who are out of this, have gotten away from this whole breeding for big head, big body, bulldogish traits. And we'll see. Hopefully we get there. I forgot you're in Arkansas. That's where my BT came from. I didn't know that. Some of our old blood in California with the red nose, with the Noron line. My uncle was a big fan of that. It came from Arkansas because we always have family out here breeding. I have a badass litter that took 11 years to make. Yeah. You send me some more pics. I haven't seen pics. I think you sent me like a couple, but I haven't seen how they've been developing. I've not advertised because I'm tired of people. I feel you. I don't like getting rid of pups. I feel you. Let's see here. 17, not 18. I have homes for all but 2. There you go. Let's see here. What's up, Massachusetts? Thanks for joining in. Mr. Thor, you ever have serious situations happen while you had to deal with hunting with the pack? Yes. I've had dogs that were gutted. I've had dogs hit bad injuries on their shoulders, neck. The last situation we had that was bad was we were just freestyle hunting, having a good time. Floyd came across a jackrabbit, and the jackrabbit took off running. The There's a barbed wire fence coming, and that shit jumped straight through the 2 lines of barbed wire perfectly. And Floyd's dumbass just ran straight through it, tore down the fence post, dragged the fence post, still going after the jackrabbit. The dragging was just, of course, making the barbed wire cut deeper and deeper into him. That was a pain in the ass. I've had fox go down in the holes. One time, I didn't realize it till late that she was in the hole with a skunk. And as soon as I smelled that skunk smell, I had to get to digging because in those holes, small dogs, they can die from being trapped in a hole with that skunk smell. So I had to dig her out. When I finally got her out, she was just real woozy. Shit, I've had a lot of situations. And that's why I say you don't have to be a dog man to be a great breeder. Just like your vet's not considered a dog man, your dog trainer's not considered a dog man. Everybody thinks once they have a group of dogs and start breeding, all of a sudden they're a dog man. A lot comes with being a dog man, and a lot of the things that dog men go through, they wish they didn't have to. You know what I mean? It's a lot that comes with working dogs, getting out into the field, because you're dealing with nature at that point. And 9 times out of 10, your dog is 50 to 100 yards away from you, possibly even way further. It could be a mile or 2 away from you, and you hopefully have given them the experience and along with the conditioning that gets them through whatever it is they might get into until you get there, and hopefully you got the other dog. Some people think, oh, I need $1 million to go hog hunting. Sometimes all that does is create more injuries because it's just too many of them. They can't move out the way of a dog, of a hog swinging at them. They get caught up because another dog is in their way. They're trying to jump to avoid something, but you got so many dogs out there they can't even avoid it because this other dog is in the way. But if you can get anywhere from 3 to 5 good dogs, that's the safest way for your dogs to hunt. But yeah, I've had some bad situations. I've had to stitch dogs up. I've had situations where I didn't have what I thought I was supposed to have with me, and just had to use mud, to just clog up an area until we get the dog where I needed him to get there. Rinse it real good, clean it real good, stitch it up. But that was the only thing I had to stop the bleeding at the time. So yeah, I've been in some bad situations when it comes to dog. Ugliest dog in the yard is usually the best dog on the yard. I'm trying to think. Ugliest dog. Floyd was my favorite, and to me, Floyd was an ugly dog. You might be onto something there. If you get you a Patterdale that's about that action, make sure he's. Y'all leave the ugly dogs alone. Ugliest dog in the yard is usually the best one of the yard. Let's see here. He only plays with the other when they mess with him. So they have to engage him to play. It just might be his personality, Trench. That might just be who he is. He might just have a low play drive. The other dogs realize it, and then therefore they're trying to get him to engage. So he might just have a low play drive. So Daryl, would love to meet y'all already. I know you have gyms that can help us younger men trying to perfect the craft. God bless you. Man, hey, thank you for joining in. And, that's why I love it when Belinda gets in here because she can help, answer a lot of the questions before I get to them. And you get Eric's another one, Betsy. There's a lot of you that join in here and add to this live show, and I like it that way. When we start getting to 80, like remember about a month or 2 ago, we were getting like 80-something people in here, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. But I do enjoy it when it's like that 30 to 40, 50, you know what I mean? And we just in here having our talk. I like that better. Let's see here. Yeah, I hear Patterdales are great brown dogs. Very great brown dogs. Extremely great. Um, very, very much so. And because a lot of Jack Russells have just been extremely watered down and aren't even, they're either too thick, or a lot of Jack Russells, their limbs are a little too long for them to really truly function in a hole the way they need to be able to. Because when they get down in that hole, that was one of the things about Fox that gave her a huge advantage. She was a short-legged Jack Russell. But when they get down in that hole, they're jousting at whatever it is, trying to get a good grip on it. You know, a lot of times there's not enough room for them to do too much shaking to cause more damage. So it's like this joust that's going back and forth, tiring it out, and then eventually they go in and get it. But the Patterdale has been maintained pretty good. You know, we'll see what happens when the shows start getting involved. But yeah, the Patterdale I would have to put number one on my list. The Jag Terrier might be a little too big to get down in the hole. Let's see here. Fact Energy. The nudity people are back. Who are these people? Hold on. Let me put it back on Belinda's comment. So this is a whole different one than the one earlier, it looks like, because I blocked the other one. All right. So that one's been blocked. All right. Yeah, I just blocked it again also. He don't play enough. He only plays with me playing fetch. Just try to get him involved with the other dogs and, you know, playing fetch and everything. And again, it just may not be him. The porno scam account is back. Ain't no yeah, and it's like, why are you on this? You know what? They're using different ones, because that's the second one I blocked. And here goes another one. If you guys want to join our lives, you need to start helping us do our dog breedings. You guys can jack off the dogs for us before our AIs. And this one's not even giving me the option to block it. Hold on. Okay, there we go. That's what you guys can do for us dog breeders. You guys come do some sperm pulls for us on our AIs. Damn, and now they made me lose where I was. All right. Let's see here. Can I ask what's the temperament of your American Centaur? Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing that too, Dan G. You know, and how old is he? And you know, what is his temperament like that you've seen from porn and explicit comments? Oh man, yeah, exactly. Go away. They're like the flies we were talking about earlier. Yeah, they got a bunch of accounts, it seems like. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to, once I get off of here, I'll go to YouTube, because they're definitely coming from YouTube. So I'll go to YouTube and then I'll report them. Yeah, it's 3 different accounts so far. Let me scroll down through the comments. Oh, they got another one. Nope. Yeah, they got another one that came up. Let me block that one. Nasty bastards. Let's see. How far behind am I? 8:37, so I'm still running around that 20 minutes late. The Serbian routes, yeah, they really ruined the route with that. And unfortunately, with the internet, you know, you can have the stupidest thing, but as long as you promote it on the internet, you'll find that crowd that's into it. So it sucks. I love German rocks. My mom, she's in her 70s, and she's still trying to convince my dad to get another Rottweiler. But he's not doing that. But yeah, it's sad what they're doing. Yes, Van Roman. I am very familiar with that. And they did have some great rocks. Their imports into America started getting very watered down, but they've got some great specimens, and they were always there when you could get them. Rards looking Leon. Exactly, the exact same faces as Leon. Oh man, that's funny. I showed him Brad Roddy's from 90 to 97 German shows, USR. Hey, nice. I love the German. Hey, Daryl. Where's your catchphrase gone? I haven't heard it in a while. I got to start throwing it back in there. It might have started drifting since I've been here in Arkansas. Exactly, merch. I need to do that. Now the day camp pet hotel hours don't go towards. Okay, so pet hotel hours don't go towards the training hours. It's just for experience. Okay, that's cool. They said they like to transfer from within, and I work 4 days a month, so it'll be a few months. That's cool though. That's still cool. There's nothing that beats the experience. You can't steady breed back in the Red Boy Jocko dog. Exactly, but I knew a lot of people that used to do it, especially if they had the excuse of, well, this was kind of watered down. Well, what do you mean by it's watered down? It's either Red Boy Jocko or it's not. Now, if it's Red Boy Jocko bred to something else and you went to that, okay, cool. But I always felt they were best as an outcross line. People here at the moment, hit the likes. Yeah, definitely hit that like button, share if you will. Let's see here. I bred Wilders from 1997. Pink Papers, yeah. But see, that was the year they were good, and it's like right around the 2000s. Actually, not the 2000s. In the late 90s, people started experimenting more with dogs that had nothing to do with purpose and had strictly to do with looks. And those type of breedings with various breeds got more and more popular. It's 2:40 a.m. in the UK. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Goodness gracious, 2:40. How do you see that litter? How do I see that? Oh, there you exactly. The porn people are back in here, man. That means they got a bunch of accounts, which means it's going to be impossible to stop them. We've been infiltrated. Let's see. What else we got going for the counties? Oh, man. Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to go through each of them. I'm going to report them also. Hopefully they'll start to use their IP address or something to get to them. Other working dog, real essence of what they're about as a whole, because they're all different personality. Good to be alive. I feel you on that. Bred old school dogs. Let's see who you. Well, hopefully I didn't piss off nobody that does porn. I don't think I pissed off anybody as of late. You know what I'm saying? As of no, I did piss off one dude. He unfriended me on Facebook. I did piss him off. You know how you can just say something that shouldn't be argued against? I don't know. Dogs need to drink water. And then you get that one guy that wants to come in just to argue. I've given mine Kool-Aid before, and it's like, why are you even arguing with what's being said? You know, it was one of those type of cats. But he was one of those dudes that I've been watching for a minute on Facebook, and I could see himself warming himself up to try to argue with me. And then when he finally did, it just backfired on him. It just backfired bad. He just chose the wrong time. And sometimes I'm in moods on Facebook where I'll deal with things or ignore things. And other times you catch me off guard and you're not gonna deal with anything. Roaches keeping count. That's it's look. For those that don't know, Issy is my wife. All her nieces and nephews call her Issy, and Man is the name she gave to Floyd. All right, it was hard for me to say. Floyd wasn't ugly, but he wasn't very normal looking, I will say. And there were times where he'd give you this look where I'd be like, he don't get me wrong, he's a great dog, but I'd be like, dude, you kind of funny looking. You know what I mean? Because like I say, he was a quarter boxer, and he was one of the few of the litter that picked up the underbite. It wasn't bad, but it was still there. There were times Floyd was just a funny looking dog. And my wife never comments, so I know I'm going to get that call when this is over with. Mr. J, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining in. Did something to something. Yeah, I don't know where these porno people are coming from, dude. Let's see. No way they troll. Yeah. And then it's like, how do you even find this live? How are you going through YouTube and you come across this live? Like, what do they type in to come across this live? That shit's crazy. And what makes you think that this would be the live to put that on? Like, I'd be in like some kind of rap video or podcast. You know what I'm saying? Hero had to only answer to exactly. Let's see. Mr. J Drive Series. Now, just talking. Yeah, we just finished the Drive Series, Mr. J. Tonight we did rank drive. So we just freestyling it now, going through the comments. Gonna have to make this a members page. And see, the only thing is, can you do members pages? I'm assuming you could do them for free. So we might do that. I have to look into that. Yeah, I definitely have to look into that. Fluffers for dogs. See? Tony Moss is thinking like I'm thinking. We need to engage with these porno people, and we don't have to do the beginning parts of the AI. We can have them do our handle that stuff. Let's see here. Damn, it jumped up again. Why does it do that every now and then? Bam. You know what, Tony? Based off some of our discussions, Belinda will be a great person for you to hit up. She'd be a great person for you to hit up. Bring a female over a year old, but under 2 years old. How do you feel? I don't breed before the age of 2. I like to breed a female right around 30. Now, I know sometimes, dogs, especially in larger breeds, but the growth plates aren't in place for a year and a half, so that's 18 months. So I figure people let your dog, your females, hit 2 years old. The other thing is you need to learn your dog before you breed it. A lot of times we're breeding older pups, and that's an issue. But this whole thing, I don't breed till second heat. Okay, but what if second heat takes place at a year and a half? So I personally feel females shouldn't be bred until they're 2. Unless you are experienced with breeding, experienced with dogs, and you know more about that female's mother and parents. So, for instance, let's say it's my bloodline, and I want to breed it on second heat. I don't think that's an issue. You know what I mean? Or I know a lot about this bloodline. I don't think that's an issue. Or I know a lot about this breed. Then it becomes a little different. But when you're getting to know a breed, getting to know dogs, you jumped into breeding. Wait till the female hits at least 2 years of age before you start breeding. Bring back the bully showcase. I go live on Mondays with Raul, Tuesdays with you guys, Fridays with Rob. I think the bully showcase would be something to do on a weekend. For people just to be able to show their dogs. So we'll get back into that. It'll probably be, well, I guess we use StreamYard. But me and my cousin have been talking about bringing that back, where I can just let people join on, show their dogs for a quick 2-3 minutes, and then go from there. So I think that's actually a good idea. Me and my cousin have been talking about it. So I think we're going to do it. I just got to get settled in. I'm still staying in the hunting house right now. When you guys see this lighting up in the background, you'll know I'm in the new house, officially in the new house. So once we get in there, we'll probably bring that back. Yes, either total outcross or back into Red Boy if making brood. Exactly. I agree 100%. I didn't think about it making brood. But yeah, I agree 100%. I agree 100% on that. Okay, that one's showing block. Hello to all my fellow bully lovers. I didn't get my notification. I'm here now. That's all that matters, John. Thanks for joining in. Make sure you guys are hitting that notification button so that you get notified, because then you should get not only notified when I go live, but if I'm not mistaken, you also get the reminder that's set up before I go live. Usually I do it the day before the live. I got like a hair that's out of place. Got like an Amish thing going. I'm supposed to be going to get my hair cut tomorrow, because I haven't had a haircut since I got here. Let's see. I can't wait to start showing off my cream sable and my blue tri. I've been working on stacking them. Make sure you hit the where you bully people. First, my bad. First Monday every month, me, Raul, Danny, and Bobby go live when we have the bully stack off. So if you want to stack your dogs off, make sure to tune into that. While you're over here, I'm gonna come feed you in just a second. I'll be done. Let's see here. This is not enough room for you to crawl up on me, and this seat's not as big as the one at home, girl. Well, let's see. Okay, that's you guys' conversation. Damn, why did they jump again? There we go. All right. For me, Eli Bolio, it's another good one, but always mixed pretty good with OFRN. I agree. Eli Bolio is definitely a good one. These people are like that. Those with the bearded cows. Exactly. He's okay. He's too big mush in the house, wants to work. He's very distrustful of people. If you leave him alone, he'll leave you alone. If you enter his territory or personal space, he'll grab you without warning. There you go. And that's, people have to understand, that is how the band dog is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a stranger-friendly dog. But your best is bred to do catch work, whether it's catch man or whether it's catch beats. That is the whole purpose behind it. Castro, I never mess with OFRN. That's Old Family is my favorite. It's a bad version of the original imported Old Family Reds, which didn't have red noses until Hemphill and Wilder started fucking them up. They are the two that messed it up. I do like the Norod line. You're not going to be able to stand on my lap here, bro, because the table's in your way. This doesn't operate. Why don't you come on the side? Then you can come over here. Come around. Come around. You want to get on camera? Come around. Come on. Come around. Yeah, the table's in the way. Come on. There you go. Come here. Come on. Sadie wants to say hi. You can't. Don't be licking me, girl. There you go. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Smile. But yeah, my favorite is Old Family Red Nose. Their working lines. The Norod line hit California hard and became some real good dogs. All right, get down. I'm gonna feed you in a second. About to be off in a second. But yeah, him filling them. I think him filling them and Wilder did have some good specimens. I don't know if it was them that messed it up or people who got dogs from them and in turn messed it up. Lone rake, high defensive, high fight drives, average prey drive, likely very game. There you go. I can see Daryl with a pack of bully and a badass jag or Patterdale. That looks like that's going to be the end result, along with some goats. We kind of debating, me and my son been talking about not tearing down the barn. And first, we're just going to tear down the inside, which I think will make it too difficult to lay down cement, and they'll charge me more. Then we thought about just tearing down the whole barn and rebuilding on cementing it, and then rebuilding on top of it. Now we're kind of thinking of leaving that little area, the barn, close it off, leave the barn in the little area just outside the barn for my wife's goat. So we will see. Here's another porn dude. This. Yeah, they've gotten relentless. And they can't think this is like good marketing. Like this is the place in the crowd. Will still work a pet quality bully, or do you think that their imperfections will affect them for working? It depends on the work. If you're talking about protection, I think a pet quality bully might probably be better for protection than your show quality bully. And I hate the word pet quality due to the fact every show dog is a pet. I think you just have, you have working dogs that aren't necessarily pets, but 90% of the show dogs are pet. So when people say pet quality, I typically think non-working. But so I'm assuming that's what you're saying. I think you can use bullies for protection if they're bred correctly. I think, I know you can use bullies for protection if they're bred correctly. Problem with the bully is the fact that we like the bully community likes the thicker, more boned up, more muscle look. And when it comes to that, you're going to ruin your chances of doing catch work and things. If you look at Erica Ross's dogs that she does her catch work with, they're lean dogs. So I think it's something you can do with the bully, get the working dog. Will it necessarily be the best out there at that job? Chances are it won't if you're trying to incorporate the show look, the show ring look of the American Bully. Exactly. All right, how far behind are we? Because I got to feed Sadie. It's been 3 hours at 9:01, so I'm only 9 minutes behind. My female just came in the heat 3 days after I bought her. Damn, there you go. Rose, quit laughing at the porn people, dude. What's up, Bully Brad Kennels? Thanks for joining in, man. We're about to be off of here shortly. I'm just making my way through the comments. That logo in the background looks sick. Thank you. That was done by Kyle Holland. He does a lot of metal work. It's a lot bigger than what it looks. It lights up. I'm just waiting to plug it in once we move into the new house. But since we got to the hunting house, I figure I'll hang it. When you guys see it lighting up in the background, that's when you know I'm actually into the new house and the water and the electricity is finally established. Where I live is got bully crazy. It drives me. They saying they don't care about the health or nothing, just jumping on the bandwagon of this new breed to jump on. And you're getting a little pushy and make money. Get down, girl. Get out. I'm going to come here in just a sec. Go on, girl. And make money. I think she's figured out I won't scold her harshly in front of you guys because she's starting to get a little pushy. Let's see here. Yeah, but you know what? And it's not just, it's spreading to where everybody's from. When we first used to come to Arkansas, when we first got into bullying, I didn't see anything about bullies. And then, because we'd be hunting at the time. And then last hunting season, which was last November, happened to come in, was talking to a guy that worked at the local liquor store. He's getting in breeds bullies. Came across a dude when we moved here, came across him about a week or two ago. His family breeds bullies. There's a sign out in front of the liquor store, local liquor store. Somebody lost their bully. So they're definitely getting more and more popular. Where did I lose the comments? What happened? There they go. Bam. All right. They are definitely getting more and more popular, and the more popular they get, the more people are getting into them strictly for the money. And it's sad. That is what really breeds. All the drama. Yes, I mind my business, tend to mind, and help when needed. There you go. That's the best way to do it. Hold on. You say you. Exactly. But that's the best way to do it, especially when it comes to Facebook. We was on the last bully stack off. We lost, but we'll try next month. There you go. Keep getting it in and just keep working with the dog. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll be there. Yesterday, for some reason, my phone was crappy. Trying to get on the live with Raul, and I actually couldn't even finish the live with him. So I got to figure out what to do about that. Put goats where they can't taunt your dogs. Oh, I know. One of my cousins that lives out here, he was saying that they will start shit with the dogs and do things to try to engage with them. So the way I'm looking at it now is there will probably be a gap where there'll be a fencing to keep the goats in, and then another fence probably 5 feet away from it to keep the dogs away. That way the dogs can get used to them. They can get used to the ghosts, but nobody engages with each other. And have that going around their section, and then they'll have the barn they can go into, and the dogs won't have access to that. But that's what we're thinking about doing. Yeah, I agree. Noir's line was something else. Red Danger was one of my favorites. Yes, I agree 100%. Floyd was 3/4 old family red nose, Norod line, 1/4 boxer. And it came, 3 of the pups came out all black. Anybody remember Chain Gang Kennels from the 90s? Yeah. I had a nice red fawn, red nose from it. Yeah, Chain Gang was popular back then. We need hard-hitting boys like Remy and Wangati mentality back. 2 of the dogs I'm picking up. One has a lot of has a lot of gray line, which is where Wangati came from. In her. And then the pup that I'm picking up, his mom has a lot of gray line in her. I'm not going into any more details than that until I have them in my hand. But yeah, I did want to get some gray line blood in there to maintain the drive and energy of the dogs. Red Danger and Dodger became more bully. I love old Neurod dogs, like stuff coming off Red Devil and Red Dawn. There you go. Did you ever see just came into my ADHD mind. The remake of the movie Red Dawn, that was terrible. The original was great. You guys get a chance, watch the original movie of Red Dawn. It was good stuff. When I first seen bullies, they weren't scary, nerve bag type. They would bust ass and move with confidence. Yeah. But the bully community has become heavily, goodness gracious, with this stuff. They've just got a bunch of accounts. And why waste them on this live? But let me go back to that. Yeah, I think we've got, like, I know guys that were breeding bully type dogs in the 90s, but they were all driven dogs, very well bred dogs. And then I also, not going to say any names, but I also have friends in California and also in Atlanta that were doing. I have friends in Atlanta that were breeding pit bulls in Atlanta, and were approached by people who are very well known in the bully community in the early 2000s to breed to their dogs. One of them used to house dogs for Big Boy from the rap group Outkast, and refused to do it because they wanted him to agree to them paper hanging the dog, him breeding to their dog, and then paper hanging the dog, the pups, on another dog that really wasn't used to create them, that litter. So he wouldn't do the breeding. I got another buddy that bred to some known bully people here in California. He had Rottweiler pit bull crosses, got popular, stuck with it. How did whatever that is getting out? Mike, is everything closed up? The hell did that get in the house? I'm gonna have to spray it out. We gotta catch him quick because I can't even fall asleep with that big flying around here. But yeah, so they did ruin a lot of the dogs that they used to create the American bully. Infant water was the start of destruction of the whole family. Yeah, I agree. They just got too popular. I think that's what happened with a lot of those old school dogmen, is their names got popular and they started breeding for the masses to make money. Sit. Don't jump up here. Good girl. Max, that will never happen unless you find people who still have that old blood. Yeah, you're going to have to get those old temperament. And Belinda's got it. Exactly. Dark Side Chicken dogs were very nice. All right, y'all. I got to feed. Well, you know what? Fuck it. We're almost to the bottom anyway. Let's see here. My dogs listen much better when I curse at them before. Floyd did not care about the aggressiveness or the cursing of your words. I don't cuss much at Cardi. She's a little sensitive. I don't let myself get there with her. My bull lurcher, Kayla, she was very similar. She was that dog that if you cussed at her, you felt bad for the next 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I have you on my IG. Let's see. Looks like we are to the end. Damn, more of this porn stuff. Come on now. Where are these people coming from? I'm featuring just a sex, girl. I found that a lot of the old fam red dogs are prone to cancer. I've never heard that. I didn't know that. And I've heard of. Well, if I put what I heard together, I still wouldn't say that I put it together that they were prone to cancer. Any more than any other lines. I would say that. But I've never heard that. Really like how you take the time to answer all the comments. Don't know many challenges do this. Appreciation. Hey, I appreciate you guys for joining in. It's only once a week, so why not? Let's get the questions answered. Don't want you to think I'm hidden account type. Oh man. What's the best way to contact you, Mr. Thor? Just want to talk to you a bit to chop it up. Best way to get a hold of me, hit me through Messenger. I'll shoot you my number. If you're talking about consultations, same process. You can hit me on Messenger. I'm getting Instagram caught up. So on IG, message me through IG or message me through Facebook. And when it comes to Facebook, you can message me through Thor Bullies or my personal page, Daryl Thor, which is the one with Cardi Bull on it. If you come across my personal, like my family page, it's a picture of me and my wife on that. I don't even look at Messenger on that. So the best way to hit me through Messenger is Daryl Thor, the one with Cardi Bull on it, or Messenger, go through Thor Bullies or straight to Thor Bullies Instagram and message me through there. And I'm getting those. I should be caught up by the end of this week. So my plan is to get caught up before we head out of town next week. Let's see here. What's the my pups get ears done Friday, and the ones will be leaving. Hopefully Saturday morning. Yeah, the pup that I'm picking up is getting his ears done actually tomorrow. So that's why I want to pick him up next week, so I don't have to deal as much with it. Let's see. Daniel O. Person tapped in from Montana. Thanks for joining in. My boy Kane is that way. He's worse than a 2-year-old kid pouting if I get on to. Yeah, I've had dogs that way. And I mean dogs that are hard in the field. But when it comes to you fussing at them, it's like you got to watch your tone or they just get this look where it's like, Floyd, he didn't care about nothing. Fox was another one, hard as hell in the field. But you fuss at her, she just lower her head down and head over to my wife or my kids. Floyd, on the other hand, he could care less. That dog, you could yell at him, spank him, and he was back right in your face instantly. That dog Floyd was just a weirdo. Love him, love the hell out of him. Definitely one of the top 3 dogs I've owned, but he was a weirdo. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, just sent one to you. God bless. You out, Max? God bless you too, man. That's it. The last comments is all porn. So I'm gonna block these idiots. Oh, and they're just popping up. It's almost like they're popping up automatically. This is crazy. Crop ears are clean ears. Exactly. I think crop ears are good. With the Jack Russell, I think they're best for all dogs, but except for dogs that go to ground. I think dogs that go to ground do need a tight fold on their ears. Other than that, I think crop ears are best overall, especially when it comes to ear infections. If you got dogs that are out in the field, then the crop ears tend to get more in them, though. I will say that. So it just depends on your preference. But all right, y'all. Got to go feed Cardi. I'm out. I will see you guys next Tuesday as we continue part 5 of the Temperament Series. Later.